I'm Cal Ripken Jr., former baseball player, played 21 years in the big leagues, and I'm a diplomatic envoy, and this is my Baltimore. I grew up in Aberdeen, a suburb of Baltimore, about 35 miles north of the city. I had the opportunity to go down to the city many times with my dad, but most of the time it involved baseball, go figure. And I went down, I remember as a 6-year-old, I went to the 1966 World Series, and Frank Robinson hit a home run. I got the chance to view the game from the upper deck. There's pretty good seats up there. And I just remember how excited the people were downtown, and certainly the people of Baltimore really loved their baseball. It was just a wonderful, glorious day. And I think in my mind, I associate baseball with Baltimore.
Tiernan is your friendly neighbourhood Irish bar overlooking Baltimore's Inner Harbour with spectacular views of the Constellation, the Aquarium and the Maryland Science Centre. Our menu offers traditional Irish and Maryland specialities along with an array of tasty pub-style items that pair well with our 23 draft beers, our high-end scotch and array of Irish whiskies. Tiernan Irish Bar and Grill is open late 7 days a week and hosts an amazing happy hour from 4 to 7 every Monday through Friday with $3 and $5 specials including drafts, wine, martinis and tasty food items. We are located just steps from most area hotels with 13 televisions showing local and national games and live music every weekend. So pull up a chair, order a nice creamy pint of Guinness, a hearty helping, and relax with us while soaking in Baltimore's best phenomenal view of the Inner Harbour. Tiernan we're saving a seat just for you.
Welcome to the National Historic Seaport of Baltimore, home of the USS Constellation Museum, the ships of the Baltimore Maritime Museum, and the new Frederick Douglass Isaac Myers Maritime Park. We invite you to step back in time as you visit these exciting Inner Harbor attractions. USS Constellation, the second of 3 ships to carry this venerable name, was launched in 1854 and served for over 100 years as the last all-sail ship built for the U.S. Navy and the only vessel in active duty service during the Civil War still afloat. As flagship of the African Squadron, USS Constellation rescued and repatriated over 700 Africans destined for slavery in the New World. The Baltimore Maritime Museum includes 4 historic sites. The U.S. Coast Guard cutter Taney is the last surviving ship still afloat from the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. The USS Torsk, a World War II-era submarine, torpedoed the last 2 enemy warships in World War II. The lightship Chesapeake marked the entrance to the Chesapeake Bay. And the 7-foot knoll lighthouse, built in 1856 at the mouth of the Patapsco River, guided ships to Baltimore for over 130 years. The Frederick Douglass Isaac Myers Maritime Park, located in Fells Point, is one of Baltimore's newest attractions. Its exhibits tell the story of the life and times of 2 famous Baltimoreans, the famous orator and statesman Frederick Douglass, and successful local businessman Isaac Myers. Their partnership in the development of the Chesapeake Marine Rail and Dry Dock Company created the first black-owned and operated shipyard in the United States. Individual tickets and multi-site passes, including water taxi service, are available at the USS Constellation Museum on Pier 1 near the Harbor Place Pratt Street Pavilion, and the Baltimore Maritime Museum ticket booth on Pier 3 next to the National Aquarium. So visit the sites of the National Historic Seaport of Baltimore, your gateway to adventure, learning, and fun.
Benvenuto a Piccolo Italia. Welcome to Little Italy, where the neighbors are friendly, the hospitality is warm, and the food is delicious.
I like going down to Little Italy a lot. If I want a special meal, I tend to go down to Little Italy. Just get that sort of neighborhood feel to it. Great Italian food, of course.
St. Anthony's Festival was actually started as a celebration of the saving of Little Italy. Everyone has heard or read about the Great Baltimore Fire, and as it became sweeping through Baltimore, burning everything in sight, the residents of Little Italy marched over to the western boundary, which is now President Street, the bottom of the Jones Falls Expressway. The residents came down, brought a statue of St. Anthony, and prayed fiercely for him day and night to not let those flames jump across the Jones Falls and burn down their houses. The winds changed, the fire subsided. They promised St. Anthony to have a festival to his celebration. If that happened, it did, and for about 80 years now, they've been celebrating the St. Anthony's Festival in the month of June. It all started when Marianne Cricchio happened to be in Sicily and saw a cinema al fresco movie outdoors and said, geez, maybe we could do that back in Baltimore. They managed to put together a series of films which was shown every Friday evening throughout the summer. It was phenomenal. It literally draws thousands of people. So on the corner of High and Style Street, you will find on Friday nights from the beginning of July to the end of August, cinema al fresco. In Little Italy, you'll find just about every kind of restaurant that will satisfy your taste. Whether your tastes range from the northern area of the country, Milan and Venice, or central Italy, Tuscany and Abruzzi, down to the Amalfi Coast, Naples down to Positano, and southern Italian style would be Calabria, and of course we can't forget Sicily. You can find it all right here in Little Italy. Each restaurant kind of specializes in their own menus. Most of them are family menus that came right from the old country with them. You can certainly get your choice here.
I've been a fan of baseball and a fan of Baltimore, for my whole life. If I could show a sense of appreciation, it would really be to say, I'm proud to be, an Oriole fan and a Baltimore fan. I'm one of you.
They always give the fans something to cheer about!
Oriole Park at Camden Yards is the classy home of our world-famous O's, who are always a big hit when it comes to providing exciting action on the diamond. And just a long fly ball away from Oriole Park is M&T Bank Stadium, where the Super Bowl champion Ravens take to the field. This year, the purple and black are sure to be among the best in the NFL. And one pro team that will definitely give you lots of kicks is the Baltimore Blast. Thrilling MISL play has the fans raising the roof at First Mariner Arena. You can bet on witnessing the best in thoroughbred racing right here in Baltimore when you visit Pimlico, home of the Preakness Stakes, the second jewel in racing's Triple Crown. So come and join us for all the games in Baltimore. So much fun, you can taste it. Yeah!
When you're visiting Maryland's Eastern Shore, you must try a Chesapeake Bay blue crab. I'm going to show you how to eat a blue crab without looking like a tourist. Do not smash your crab with a mallet. You do not use a fork. The first thing you do is take the front claws off. Then you take the crab, you grab the fins in one hand, and you take the crab's point in the other, and you take the top shell off. Whoops. And go over here. Okay. Then you clean the inside of the crab out. Take the and remove the gills, which are the lungs. Then you cut off the fins. You put that in your disregard pile. Then you take off the next layer of the crab, top carcass. Now you have a clean Maryland blue crab, and you take your fingers and you just pick out the delicious back fin crab meat. You dip it in your vinegar or Old Bay seasoning, and some people prefer drawn butter. Enjoy.
If you sit quietly enough on Federal Hill and watch the world go by, you can almost sense history go by as well. Centuries ago, this land was untouched until the historic explorer John Smith landed in 1608 during his first exploration of the Chesapeake Bay. In the late 1800s, the government came by the land and turned it into a park. Today, Federal Hill is much, much more. The best views of the skyline can be seen from this lofty perch. The American Visionary Arts Museum is a remarkable experience featuring works of untrained artists from every spectrum of media. Fort McHenry can be visited by water taxi and is teeming with American history. Whatever your mood, a restaurant can be found here to suit it. Cross Street Market is a delight for your senses and for your pocketbook. The cobble streets are lined with brick row houses, broken up with the occasional crooked alley. Your soul will take in the history and the culture as you amble through the walkways of Federal Hill.
I would just say in general, when people come in from out of town, I want to expose them to to Baltimore and to Maryland in the right sort of way, and it always involves steamed crabs, so that when you're able to open them and kind of teach them how to do it. I grew up with going to get crabs, at your favorite little spot and then taking them home, and it's a gathering sort of food. But since then, I've also enjoyed going out to the restaurants. You don't have the mess, you have a lot more people there, there's an energy that goes along with it.
What I like best about Baltimore is the Mount Vernon area, and in particular, the George Washington Monument. The monument stands 178 feet tall and is the first ever to honor George Washington. The monument was erected as a landmark for ships traveling in the Chesapeake Bay. Baltimore has been the monumental city ever since. To view the city, climb the 228 steps spiraling up inside the column. Go inside the base to study the monument's origin.
Baltimore is one of the most visited cities in the United States. If that surprises you, it shouldn't, because in Baltimore, the attractions are virtually endless. Whether your interests are historical, cultural, patriotic, athletic, or artistic, they are fully addressed here in the charmed city of the Chesapeake. For one thing, Fort McHenry at the entrance to the Inner Harbor is the birthplace of the Star-Spangled Banner and home to a remarkable collection of military and historic artifacts. And the Flag House on Pratt Street was the home of Mary Pickersgill, who made the great flag that flew o'er the ramparts. The B&O Museum is the point of origin of the first American railroad, and its vintage roundhouse houses one of the world's greatest collections of railroad equipment and memorabilia. The historic Mount Vernon neighborhood is home to the Walters Art Museum and the Maryland Historical Society, both of them treasures of art and culture. The Baltimore Museum of Art, adjacent to the campus of Johns Hopkins University, features the works of the masters in a constantly changing series of exhibitions. And if your interests are more avant-garde, there's the American Museum of Visionary Art on Key Highway, where the exhibits are a bit more quirky and always entertaining. The masts of the Civil War-era sailing ship Constellation tower over the Inner Harbor, and the Civil War Museum on President Street is housed in a 19th century railroad museum. The Reginald F. Lewis Museum of Maryland African American Culture and History is nearby. Another building of the Civil War period, Camden Station near Oriole Park at Camden Yards, is home to both the Jeppe Entertainment and Sports Legend Museums. Baltimore is, after all, Babe Ruth's birthplace. There's the Jewish Heritage Museum and the Evergreen House and Homewood House on the grounds of Johns Hopkins University. And the steel ships of the Baltimore Maritime Museum attract hundreds of thousands of visitors every year. When all is said and done, it's fair to say that if you can't find it in Baltimore, it probably doesn't exist.
Easy, guard's still watching. Okay, go, 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 go. You know we did a lot of sneaking around to get you in here. You know this place is free, right?
What do you mean free?
Free, like costs no money to get in. You can't get a whole lot for free anymore.
Cobblestones lay down before you on these streets of multiplicity. Historic and contemporary, eclectic is the only word to describe Fells Point. Hip and funky boutiques alongside stores carrying the classic and the conservative. Home and garden accessories, antiques, clothing, furnishings, jewelries, and so much more. With an abundant history, this waterfront district is also a major cultural attraction. Several art galleries, 2 theaters, tours focusing on the history and architecture of the area, and quite a few music venues make Fells Point a place where young and old, crazy and carefree, and everyone in between can meet and mingle. Come on down and get in on it at Fells Point.
Welcome to Charm City. Hi, my name is Charlie Stewart and I'll be your guide around Baltimore's hottest nightlife. Right now we're in the historic Fells Point. This waterfront area comes alive at night and has something for everyone. Wander your way up and down the cobblestone streets to uncover every type of bar and club, from the horse you came in on to Slaunch's Irish pub. Or follow your ears to one of many bars that feature local bands. You're sure to find something that fits your taste here in Fells Point.
Welcome to Hampden. The name Hampden was given to the village by General Henry Mankin to honor British statesmen of the time of King Charles I. John Hampden was one of the first members of Parliament to question taxation of the colonies. For unknown reasons, the P in Hampden has never been pronounced. Some 200 years after its birth, Hampden is booming. A must-see on any visitor's list, offering a welcoming small-town feel to the big city of Baltimore. Hampden is easily accessible from downtown via the light rail, cab, or by car. The shops in Hampden, which are owner-operated, all display an uncommon product and style. You can find everything from antiques and art to comics and chocolate. An array of dining options await even the pickiest of eaters. And be sure to wander down the charming 4 blocks of 36th Street, known locally as the Avenue. You won't be disappointed.
Looking for that local secret? Well, you found it right here on the Avenue in Hampden. This charming community has that small town feel, even though it's just minutes from downtown. It's a fantastic remnant of old Baltimore. Hampden is filled with unique bars and restaurants. Take your taste buds on a road trip down south of the border at Holy for Holies. Stop by the famous Cafe Hun for a truly Baltimore experience, or just walk down the avenue. There are lots of exciting options. With its friendly atmosphere, extensive beer and wine lists, and creative drink options, Hampden's perfect for hanging out with friends or making new ones.
Best thing about Baltimore are the crabs, and you can get plenty of them in Baltimore at the Lexington Market.
The Natty Bow logo light, bathing the neighborhood, Canton has an atmosphere all its own. Baltimore's favorite beer was brewed here until recently, but you would never know it's gone. Banners, cups, drinks, and patrons at the bars of O'Donnell Square serve as a constant, proud reminder of the brew's origins. The land was originally developed from the plantation of the seaman John O'Donnell in the late 1800s as a plan to house both industry and workers. So, grab a buddy and a bow and come on down to Canton.